Hello, everybody. Steve Lentini, working out of my home office. Excuse the non-collared shirt, but it is Friday afternoon, and I was reflecting on some of my writing this week. I wrote a blog post about how salespeople show up. Basically, it's from me interviewing buyers over the years. I've been talking to buyers for a number of years, both when I was in selling situations, I would ask them this, and when I'm doing my sales training work and research and background. And so I think buyers have a great way and a lot of information to train salespeople. So salespeople spend a lot of time in classrooms and learning verbose role plays and trying to remember what to say things when a buyer says this, what do you say? If salespeople are authentic, and this is what buyers wish salespeople knew, you don't have to have a technique. You can be yourself, right? You can be real, however you show up in your personality. So I do the Everything Disc profiles for sales, and salespeople learn a lot about themselves and how they show up and what their personality type is. But even more important, and we know the golden rule is to treat people how you want to be treated. But the platinum rule is treat people, and this is what people want today, treat people as they want to be treated. Because after all, you're there to figure out if you can sell them something. Who's more important, you or them? Yeah, their goals are more important. So some of the things that buyers wish salespeople knew is you don't need to be the smoothest talking, slick-tongued salesperson like years ago. They have less trust of those backslappers, joke tellers, coffee bringers. You get to know them a little bit, you tell them a joke, right? You're doing business with them. You get to know them a little bit, you're doing business with them. Then you bring them bagels and coffee, and because it's something genuine you want to do. But up front, I've had buyers tell me about salespeople doing things they don't even know them, and they make them uncomfortable. The first thing they do, they make them uncomfortable. How does that help them sell? People are looking to buy from people they like and trust. That's all things being equal. All things being unequal, guess what? Buyers and decision makers try to work to make the person they like and trust the winning supplier, the winning software company, the winning distributor, the winning hardware company, the winning service company, contractor, painter, cleaner. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. I can train anybody in sales because I'm teaching people to be authentic and to be themselves and to become aware of how they show up. And most salespeople have no idea because many of them are still thinking, well, I'm a great salesman. And they go in the office telling people how they convince people to buy. You don't convince people to buy anything today. You help them hear whether they need you or not with questions. So you've got to be prepared and have questions so that the decision maker can hear themselves say whether they need you or not. They need it to come from their own lips. Their ears have to hear themselves say, well, it sounds like you guys are really a good fit for us. Or not, right? Some people are not a good fit. Some companies for their future customers, and some future customers are not fit for us as business people. It's just the way it is. But the only way you can find that out is you got to have questions and listen, truly listen. Take some notes and don't talk. Don't acknowledge everything the buyer says in the beginning. Don't acknowledge it. Say, okay, great. And what else do you have? I've got a few more questions. Let me go over the rest of them. And so you hold back your response until it's time. And you could even say, all right, so I've had a lot of questions for you. You must have some questions for me. Now you answer their questions. You could even tell them when you sit down what your sales process, what your sales system is. You could say, hey, at first, of course, I want to spend some time getting to know you a little bit. Then I have some questions that I've prepared. And, if you ever feel like it's too many questions, let me know. And if at any time you feel like it's not a fit, the direction that I'm going, that I'm not figuring out what your pain is or the required solution, tell me. I'm okay with it. You can tell me no at any time. And then you say, and then a lot of people have questions for me, and here's 3 of them that they typically ask. So you're giving them somewhat of an agenda and somewhat of what your system is. The other thing that buyers mention to me is they say salespeople come in and know nothing about their company. So again, this is because they're attached to an outcome. Their sales manager has been saying to them, or the owner of the company, "What'd you close for me lately?" That's the wrong way to do it, folks. If you're managing your salespeople like that, it's wrong. Salespeople, if your boss is managing you like that, have them call me. It's wrong. Not everybody's a fit for me. I'll interview them and see if they're a fit for the work I do. I've got customers, clients I've been with me for 20 years because I'm teaching them how to be authentic, how to be grounded, how to challenge someone at the right moment. By the way, buyers wish that you would challenge them once in a while. That you don't tell them everything they want to hear. They know it, and it sounds like, what? BS. It sounds like BS. And they trust you less. So they want you to know when to push back. Let's suppose that the buyer starts to describe, you ask them, well, where are you in the decision process? Well, we're about 80% to picking this solution. And you say, you know that solution has not worked for other people in the same circumstance. And you say, well, I have to say, I have a few stories to tell you, if you don't mind, of customers that made that same decision and it didn't work and they had to come back to us. And I'd like to save you that. And if you're not okay with that, fine, let me know. If you'd like to hear the story, I have a few. You should have some stories that help them. And they don't mind that you challenge them. That means you got to plant your feet a little bit, and you have to be authentic, not attached to the outcome, not attached to winning the sale. Do you want to win it? Yes, if it's a fit and if it's healthy for both of you. Because if it's not healthy for both of you, what happens? In the long run, you lose the customer anyway, and they feel like you misrepresented them. So there's more things that I wrote about in the blog, and if you have other questions, I'm helping salespeople figure out how to show up in a way that's authentic and present and help you know when to plant your feet and challenge people. And to remember that we live in something called a universe, right? So there's some miracle to that. So I help people bring that limitless possibility thinking to what they do, and their sales grow. I have plenty of clients. I can give you stories and people to call, and I know how well it works. I've been doing it and using it myself for years, and I've written about it, so I've got some books about it. So anyway, if you have any questions, email me, steve@stevelentini.com, steve@stevelentini.com. So how you'll sell more and more often is to start working on yourself. Jim Rohn said the harder he worked on himself, the better his business did. And so if you want to do an Everything Disc sales program, call me. If you want some ideas about my training program, because it's ongoing, by the way, seminars are 10 grand because it's entertainment. It's a lot of pressure on me. And your people, quite frankly, don't learn anything from them. So I do reinforcement training where I come in once, twice, 3 times a month, and I do it. I've got, like I said, I've got clients I've been doing this for 15, 16, 18 years, 19 years. And they see a difference, right? And I'm around long enough so that you can say to me, Steve, it worked. Yeah, I'm not afraid to stay around long enough to help you see what the sales result is. Okay. Thanks. Happy selling, good selling, happy weekend.